Hey guys, it's Windwolf and welcome back to another speed build for today. Today we're building on the Old Salt House lot in San Myshuno. So if you don't remember what that lot is, it's like the only residential house in San Myshuno, and it's like a big modern sort of industrial looking house. I didn't even know it was a residential lot. I thought it was supposed to be like a gallery. I've never actually looked at this lot until now, and then I was like, oh my god, it's residential. So I saw this really cute tiny house on Instagram that I will hopefully put a picture of on the screen, but if I don't find it, then that's why you don't see a picture. That or I forgot. So I saw this really cute tiny house that was kind of industrial, and to be honest, it's not really my style of house. I felt like it looked kind of weird, but it looked cute to me at the same time, and I was like, you know what, that would look really cute as a cafe. So today we are building a cafe slash lounge. It functions as either of them, so you can make it a cafe or a lounge. I made it a lounge just because it has everything that's required for a lounge, so I just put it as a lounge anyways. Hopefully that's what I put it in the gallery as, but I can't entirely remember, but if not, you can always just search through my gallery page. It'll be one of my newer builds. But yeah, what do I say about this? So it was like a kind of weird looking. Like you can already see it kind of looks really weird, but I promise you guys, have some faith. It's going to turn out really good in the end. If you guys can't tell by the thumbnail, it's definitely it's definitely different than something I usually do, but I really liked the way it turned out. And I think interestingly enough, for a lot of my builds, I've been saying that recently, that I didn't like it originally. Usually I like the builds I make immediately. I'm like, oh yeah, this is looking great. But recently the builds I've been doing, I'm sort of like, it looks so bad. And then somehow it ends up looking really good to me by the end of the video. So yeah, so the top layer, oh my gosh, at the top, the second floor, we have sort of like a sunroom. So there's just windows surrounding it. And yes, I used the green glass on purpose. From the Get Together. I think those are from Get Together. The Get Together windows. I did it on purpose because that's what the picture looked like, my inspo picture. So I was like, okay, we're gonna do that. And then I had a little bit of trouble in the beginning because I didn't want the staircase to be in the middle of the room the way it is right now, because obviously this is a very, very small space. I do not think it counts as a tiny home. Not that that really matters because this is not a residential lot, although I guess you could like delete everything and make it into a shell and just build a house from it. But in case you wanted to know, it's definitely not a tiny house worthy, and the reason why it's not tiny house worthy is because I have a bunch of platforms on the outside as well as the inside. Do I have platforms on the inside? No, I don't have platforms on the inside, but I do have it on the exterior. So if you're wondering why this wouldn't function as a tiny home, it's because there's too many platforms on the outside. I also did some nice landscaping, which you'll see at the very end. I think usually I don't record my landscaping, and the reason I don't record my landscaping is because it takes me a long time to landscape. Sometimes I know what I'm doing immediately, and then sometimes I'm going back and forth a lot, and I just don't think you guys would be very interested in watching me go back and forth with plants. Although I've heard that it's like really satisfying to watch landscaping, so if you guys want me to include my landscaping in the video, let me know in the comments down below, because I'll start keeping the footage instead of not using it. I just don't like to use space if I don't need to. Right now I only have 10 gigabytes on my computer after recording this video, so that's why sometimes I cut out things and don't record, because if I'm just going to go back and forth a lot, it's just not worth it to record the footage, and then I'd have to edit it too, because I'd have to go through it, and I don't like doing that, so usually I save myself the trouble, because if you guys don't know, I don't cut my footage very often. The only time I cut footage is if I'm doing room builds, or if I'm doing like a live video, and I don't do live videos ever. The only time I've ever done a live video was for my CC review, or the one 10-minute challenge. Like if I do the 10-minute challenge, it'll be live, obviously. But other than that, I don't ever do live videos. But the 10-minute challenge isn't going to be edited anyways, because it's a challenge. You have to see the whole 10 minutes. So yeah, I don't edit my videos that much. I just sort of record the footage, input all of the stuff in sequence, and then just let it be. You know, I add an intro, I add an outro, and that's kind of it. But it's just too much work, which is why I avoid recording all of my footage. But if you guys want to see landscaping, I will definitely include it, because it just means taking a couple of extra gigabytes, and hopefully you guys can suffer my switching back and forth. Oh, I really wanted to use that clock. You see that standing clock in the back? I really wanted to use that, but I think I forgot to. That's unfortunate. I did end up adding a bookshelf. The reason why I added a bookshelf is because I thought it would look really cute, and also I felt like this would be a really cute place to study. Like, I would come here to study 100%. This is such a cute, like, little cafe type thing. I've never seen anything like it in real life, but 100% this must exist somewhere. In fact, I showed this build to my mom, and she said, you know what, Anna, you built something I've seen before. I've exactly seen this. And she's like, I don't think you've been there, but it definitely looks like that. And so I was like, okay, calm down. So yeah. And then you'll also see I end up making this place look super, super crowded and like cramped. And that was purposeful, guys. I hope it's still functional, but if it isn't, you might have to delete some. I think maybe delete the columns. I end up adding columns in the middle of the room to make it look like support beams. And I just liked how cramped and sort of cramped but like cozy, and it kind of gives off the industrial vibe, I think, a little bit more having columns. I don't know, I never add columns into the middle of my builds, and I wanted to, so I did it. So yeah. And then I realized halfway through this build that I forgot to add the staircase again, and I had to move a bunch of stuff around. But yeah, interestingly enough, this isn't that difficult to furnish. I didn't go too like super detailed on clutter and stuff because it's, you know, it's a cafe. It doesn't really need that much clutter, especially not for how small it was. I could have added like a super cool backdrop behind the bar, the espresso bar, but I just didn't want to do it. I didn't have that much space, and I actually really like using the chalkboards in this game because I think all the chalkboards in this game are just super, super cute. That being said, I do know that this chalkboard that I put in seems to suit more of like an actual bar rather than an espresso bar, but I use there's one more espresso bar, not espresso bar, sorry, there's one more chalkboard that's more geared towards cafes, and I felt like it looked too cutesy, and I also use it in all of my cafe builds, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to branch out and use something else. Here you can see I've added columns, 4 of them in the middle of the room, which makes it look super cramped. But I still think I keep saying house. I do too many house builds. I haven't done a commercial lot in a very long time, which is unfortunate because I think commercial lots are definitely one of my favorite to do. And I think they also get a lot more traction on my Instagram, maybe? I can't quite remember because I don't think people do that many like commercial lots very often. So yeah. And then here's the upstairs sunroom. I end up adding a music place because I wanted this. From one hand, this is something I would add in a cafe just to be like live music, but also I feel like this is really useful for gameplay because if you guys can't afford skill building items, you guys can use them here. So it's sort of multifunctional lot, you know? You can use it to get a drink, you can use it to work on your skill building. The only thing I didn't add was a computer, and then it would have been super useful, I guess, but the outside has a couple of things for kids, I think. No, it doesn't, actually. It has monkey bars, which is super good for kids, but that's all it has. I would have added the toddler toys, but once again, I was limiting packs. So I didn't want to add the toddler toys because toddler toys requires the toddler pack, which I think is super, kind of, now that I think about it, it's kind of ridiculous that we don't have, like, we have almost 0 toddler outdoor toys unless we have the toddler pack, which I think is a little bit weird. But, you know, especially since we didn't even get toddlers for the longest time, I feel like they should have added some, you know, some more like, we don't have that much toddler stuff in the game. I feel like that shouldn't have necessarily had to have been coming from a pack. But I don't know. It's pretty rare that you'll ever hear me say that, because usually when I hear people say that, I think that it's a little bit ridiculous that they think that way. But this time I will say that because toddlers are just such a basic part of the game. It's not anything special. So that's kind of weird. And then here you can see I'm doing that trick I have with the fountains. I basically take these City Living paintings, these fountains, I size them down and I kind of hide them into the wall. So the wall looks like it's ejecting water rather than the fountain, because the fountain you can't see anymore. I just think it looks cool. It looks sort of like a rock, you know those walls that have water coming down them. They're just rock walls. So I thought that looked really cool. I also really like how the lighting turned out at the end for the dark, when it gets like dark outside. I don't very often focus on lighting in my builds. I know that sounds really bad, but I don't feel the need to like focus on doing builds and like making it super bright at night, because I don't really care. And when I'm playing the game, I definitely don't care. And when I'm building, it's like, how often are people going to see this at night? You know, my screenshots are going to be in the morning, obviously. So usually I don't focus too much on lighting when it's dark, but this time I did. And then I include screenshots of it being dark to flex on all of you that my lights look really good. But yeah. So as you can see, I'm kind of struggling with landscaping already. I really like these low-lying plants that we have. These I kind of use almost in all of my landscaping. I always include those low-lying plants. I think I may have gotten that from Little Simsy, to be honest with you. I can't remember if I used those before that. I'm not even sure if I knew they existed before I started watching Little Simsy do landscaping. But my landscaping is a lot different than hers, I think. She uses these bushes a lot. I do not use those bushes that much. I mean, I add them in like commercial lots a lot, but usually I don't use them too much. And I feel like she always does a lot of basic landscaping. I try to do a little bit more if I'm going to focus on landscaping. Sometimes I don't want to focus on landscaping. So, yeah. But the low-lying plants, I think I definitely figured out those existed from her, because I don't think I knew those existed. And I don't understand why we don't have more of these type of like low-lying plants. I wish we had normal, more natural-looking bushes, because I feel like we have so many cute like flower bushes, but they look like too proper and too like cut. There's too circular. I also don't like the colors on some of the plants. Like, I don't like the green texture of the taller, like, basic bushes, if you know what I'm talking about. I think I just pulled them up like 2 seconds ago. And then here's going to be the back side for the eating area. I really like this back side. I think it looks super cute. The best thing about this lot is that the view behind the lot is the, is it called a boardwalk? Where it's like just the ocean. Or I guess it's a lake, technically. I don't think they would have an ocean in the city, unless it is an ocean. I think it's a lake. I'm not really sure. I think it must be a lake because they show like a bridge, so it must end at some point. It can't be that long. I don't really know, but whatever it is, I really like the way the back looks. So I could just imagine sitting out here in this like plant, like circle of plants, and like looking at the outside. And by the way, I do get rid of the all of the dirt. Like, this doesn't remain dirt. I end up putting stone there instead. I had a lot of difficulty when figuring out if I was like making it too blank, but I don't know. I feel like some of the lot looks very empty, and I also didn't like how bright the grass was, but then when I was looking at the neighboring grass, it also was that bright, so I was like, okay, I'll keep using the bright grass anyways. So that's how that came out. And I also used a lot of fountains. Usually I don't use fountains that much, but this time I did. Anyways, you guys are hitting screenshots now. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys like this build. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below. As always, make sure to give this video a big like if you like me. Wait, what? If you like this video, make sure to give it a like. I just forgot my outro for a second. If you like me, hit the subscribe button. And if you really like me and want to be notified every single time I post a video, go ahead and hit that bell button. I'm so sorry if you heard my mic. I just hit it. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you next time.